Y'all, it's your girl Breezy, and you know I love to run my mouth. So y'all, I was over on TikTok and I saw that the folks are really up in arms about this statue in Times Square in New York about of this black woman. You know, it's a depiction of a black woman, and there are a lot of folks who are upset, and then the folks who are upset with the folks who are upset. So I wanted to look into like what the statue was about initially, and then I'll show y'all, child, what they was talking about on TikTok. British artist Thomas J. Price probably could have counted on some controversy when he erected a sculpture of a black woman in New York's Times Square. Unveiled on April 29, 12-foot-high bronze, grounded in the stars, shows an unidealized woman in everyday clothes, standing with hands on hips, gazing into the distance with a contemplative look. Per a description of the work by the presenter, Times Square Arts, Price's practice confronts preconceived notions of identity and representation. And controversy he got despite a subtle degree of aggrandizement. Price's figure stands in a pose that nods to Michelangelo's David, and Jean Cooney, director of Times Square Arts, was drawn to the artist's work because of the novel way in which it imparts a sense of reverence for people's everyday humanity, she told ArtNet News in February. But she's being greeted in some quarters online as an unflattering representation, one with an attitude, one who looks stereotypically angry. Times Square Art's own Instagram post of the work has generated dozens of comments with plenty of love eyes, flexing muscles, and fire emojis, but they run the gamut, including Bessie Blunt 16's terse trash and Miss Izzy B's I hate your statue, as it's not an accurate representation of black American women. We come in all shapes and sizes, and you have her plainly dressed looking angry. You're British and know nothing of black American women. You should be ashamed of yourself. This is some leftist nonsense just to piss off white people, contributes JF121212. And based on the comments, blacks don't like it either. Predictably, aesthetic conservatives use President Donald Trump's slogan to denigrate the work. One meme juxtaposes it with Antonin Pavel Wagner's Classicing's 19th century Hercules and Sybaris, in which the mythical Greek hero sports abs for days under the heading Make Statues Great Again. Right-wing media also found a way to place the work in a context they are obsessed with. Who is this woman, asked Fox News host Jesse Waters on Thursday. What did she do to get a statue? A nice one, too. In answer to his own question, he concludes nothing. This isn't a real person. It's a DEI statue. Price is aware of the debate. On May 9th, he reposted to Instagram a slideshow from the popular Real Tombs account, whose first slide sums up the positions. Two black women flanked the sculpture, one saying, I love this, the other saying, wow, I hate this. More black people join in the conversation in succeeding slides, one asking, what's next, pajamas and a bonnet? While another pipes up to say, we are so deep in European beauty standards that the idea of a plus-size black woman being honored is somehow disrespectful. Price did not immediately answer a request to weigh in on the debate sent via Times Square Arts. The Times Square installation coincides with Price's exhibition, Resilience of Scale, at Hauser and Worth Soho Rooms. His first major show with the gallery in New York. It presents 5 similarly towering bronze figures depicting everyday black people. In Time Unfolding, 2023, a woman consults her phone. As Sound Turns to Noise, 2023, shows a woman in athletic wear. Within the Folds, Dialect, 2025, shows a man in sneakers and a sweatsuit. Price's Times Square installation also takes place in the same city at the same moment as many black women and men are enshrined in their everyday glory in Amy Sherald's acclaimed Whitney Museum of American Art exhibition. American Sublime, where the artist shows black people as stylish and confident. Prominent black artists are in the spotlight at the Guggenheim Museum, as well with a Rashid Johnson retrospective at the Metropolitan Museum of Art with a rooftop installation by Jenny C. Jones. Other black artists have also used Times Square as a place to comment on representation of black people. Price's Midtown installation comes a few years after artist Kehinde Wiley, known for painting young men of color in settings and poses inspired by a art historical portrait, erected a sculpture 29 feet high and also in bronze of a black man in everyday clothing, Nike sneakers and a sweatshirt, but astride a horse, riffing on monuments immortalizing Confederate leaders in the American South. So the folks are up in arms, and the lady who caused the most controversy, I'm going to put her post here, but she just really went in on the statue, which I did not understand her vitriol towards that statue. First of all, she called it a monster, said that it was ugly. This is what they think we look like. And as you'll see in the photos that I show you of the statue, it's not ugly. There are women who are saying, excuse me, this looks just like me. I'm sorry, I'm the statue. And I think that, and I guess it's just human nature that we all want to be included. But there's not a possible way for that to happen. If a person is making one statue and he's giving it, this is the everyday black woman, are we mad that the everyday black woman is looked at as a thicker woman? She talked about her being overweight and this and that. And I think there is an unfortunate desire for black women to be a certain way. For us to think we have to all be one size, with one set of hairstyles, with one set of clothing, with one set of style, with one set of beauty standards. And that's just not the case. And what is also interesting is that, yes, art is subjective. So when people look at it, everyone's going to have a different interpretation of it. But for you to look at that statue and your interpretation is to see monster is beyond ridiculous. And what it says to me is that there's an underlying hate that you have for black women on an overall. Some may feel like that's a stretch. But I feel like if you look at that, and just because as a black woman you don't necessarily see yourself in it, you definitely see someone that you know. Whether that be your mother, your aunt, your cousin, your sister, your friend, a coworker, your neighbor, that statue looks like someone you know. So it is not far off that is a depiction. To me, the statue is beautiful. When I look at the statue and see that statue, I see a beautiful black woman. I see a regular black woman who has braids, who has on a shirt and pants, who is a little thicker in stature as far as like body size. But I mean, in all honesty, I'm not gonna lie. I think, yes, men like slimmer, thin women, but I think that woman's body kind of represents what a lot of men like in a woman. A little cushion for the pushing. And I wonder if the women that don't like it, if they have also some issues with people being bigger. Not just about, oh, she doesn't look like me. This is what we know it's not what all women look like. It's not possible. It wasn't possible for him to put in a statue that looks like every single black woman. Not possible. He'd need several thousands of statues in order to accomplish that. But to say that as an artist he doesn't have, because he's British, he doesn't have a sense of black women. He's a black man. To say he doesn't know, I guess because he's from Britain, like, when you're an artist, you typically are studying other artists, you're studying people, whether that be from your country or other countries. So it's not that the man doesn't know anything, it's just that people are just really upset, and it is mind-blowing to me. I'm going to share with y'all a few TikToks. I'm going to share with you all that TikTok of the lady who called it a monster and who was very upset. She feels like the people are playing in our face and we let them do this to us every time. Some of us can just be too deep. Do you feel me? We can sometimes just be too deep. And then others who are very upset with her because they feel like she's degrading the black women who this statue does represent. And I think that to call it a monster was beyond extreme. Maybe express that, hey, this don't look like me, so I don't have a connection to it. But to say it's a monster and it's this and it's that, she doesn't look angry. Did you want her to be smiling like a fool in a statue? Is that what they wanted? She could have turned, like, it is the artist's depiction. I think that the woman she has her hands on her hips. She has on her pants, which are fitting. You know when you had and I guess because I'm a bigger woman, I can relate. But you know how you have that one pair of pants, or maybe two, that it just has that right fit. It just holds you right. It make your thighs look good. It make your booty look right. And you just feel good in it. Like you stand there with your hands on your hips like, what's going on over there? Let me see. And that's what it's giving to me. The depiction of the woman is not ugly. She's just when I look at her, she's just an average black woman. And that's what the man was trying to give. Like, y'all check out these TikToks. Y'all let me know what you think.
Overweight, fat, black, and ugly in Times Square is wild. Like, they really think we're a joke. Like, that big behind, 12-foot, overweight black woman in the middle of Times Square, that is what they chose to represent us? Like, that's what they think about us, y'all. Big, overweight, there's nothing attractive about the statue. There's nothing appeasing. It's like this monster of a black woman who's dominating. Like, it gives this aggressive, overpowering, masculine black woman. That's what the statue gives. It does not give anything feminine, soft, strong, powerful, fit. No, it's a big, black, fat, overweight woman in the middle of Times Square to take pictures of. Y'all, they really be playing with us. And until we recognize what is happening out here, they're gonna keep playing with us. They're gonna keep playing with us because we play with ourselves. Baby, this is wild. Wild, wild. I cannot stand being black. I hate being part of the black community because there's a 12-foot statue in the middle of Times Square of a black woman that looks like me. It doesn't look like Beyonce, doesn't look like Megan Thee Stallion, looks like the every single day black woman. And everybody's calling her ghetto.
The problem with this whole conversation is the way Americans are choosing to frame it. Because I'm not saying the girl is wrong. And that statue is, I'm just like that. Me and that statue are more like than I am to like Rihanna, for instance. But at the same time, the idea that your feelings could get hurt because these people feel this way about the statue is part of the problem. You have to understand that those people who feel that way, they have a very unrealistic expectation for themselves as well as other people. So you can take it personally, sure. But at the end of the day, you're caring about the opinions of people who feel so uncomfortable about walking out of the house without a prosthetic for their head, prosthetic for their eyelashes, a prosthetic for their skin. They have to have their eyebrows shaped a certain way. They can't, if they're a girl, they can't walk out of the house with armpit hair or leg hair. These are people who are so deeply uncomfortable in their own skin that they can't barely exist as themselves. So yeah, I get it. It may hurt your feelings, but really you have to just take it with a grain of salt. I remember being in high school feeling like I had to put pounds of makeup. And even besides this blemish that I am trying to fix, even today, I never had pimples. Never had bumpy skin, never had broken out skin from puberty or anything. But I felt like I had to put a pound of foundation on my face and tons of eyeliner. And it got to a point where I was as pretty as I was ever going to be in high school. And I realized that it got me absolutely nothing. It got me nowhere. And this idea of being beautiful or being something that turns people's heads everywhere you go, it is absolutely cheap and worthless. Like, I'm sure somebody has monetized off of it and has made a lot of money and good for them, but it is draining mentally and it is draining spiritually. And the statue, though I'm not particularly impressed with it because, yeah, it's a very average person, I'm not bothered by it either. I'm not angry at it. It is what it is. And yeah, I do think it's the very typical style and shape of the average black woman in this country. That's not the reason why people hate it. They hate it because it's a black person, and anything that would dare draw attention to our culture by itself without including a bunch of other cultures, people want to dogpile on it. And the people who are claiming that it's about the way she looks or she's a bad example of what black women are, again, I'm telling you, these people are putting swoops of fake hair on their forehead to make it look like they have some weird plastic recreation of a different hair type completely because they're so ashamed of what their natural hair type actually does on their forehead. So really, just try to ignore it because it's just noise.
Y'all not gonna like what I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna say it. That statue of that black woman in Times Square is a very accurate depiction. It's very accurate. I don't see nothing wrong with it, but my thing is, when we face to look at real black beauty, we hate it. We hate it, and they just proved it to us. I know the beauty standard is thin and small and modelly ways, but let's be real. That's not real. That is the internet persona of what a black woman really is. Since the beginning of time, black women have had curves, hips, nose, lips, and fingertips. Do you hear me? And literally 80 to 90% of all black people, mamas and aunties look like that. So we really gonna have this fake outrage, exactly what they want us to do over this. Not to mention it's disrespectful to the artist, because I'm pretty sure the artist wanted to depict a realistic black woman. I don't know if the artist is white or black, but guess what? You got the job done and you put it right in their face. Is women bigger and less attractive than that statue? Speaking of that statue, then there's men who girlfriend, mama, auntie, sister look just like that statue or worse, and they talking about it. Get it together. Get it together. Let's focus back on Rodney Hinton. Let's focus back on Rodney Hinton. Yeah, don't get distracted, man.
If you're looking at that statue, you look a little bit to the right, you'll see a Beyonce eye. Mind you, we think Beyonce's perfect. But that's the whole point. People are complaining about the representation of the statue, and then you look to the right and there's representation of another kind of black woman on the big screens in Times Square. Even more noticeable than the statue. And I just saw a video from the creator, Ayn Rand, and the caption was, God forbid a woman be attractive. God forbid black women be attractive. And that bothered me because black women look like that. And I've seen comments of black women who are like, I look like this, and I'm seeing all this racism about how I look. I know that hurts, but what has to hurt even more is when you see an influencer who is the beauty standard, basically saying you're the worst kind of representation of the black community. People that look like you should not have a statue. And then people in the comments are like, oh, this is the nanny trope. Oh, no other race puts, other people that look like that in the forefront. Mind you, I just watched The Handmaid's Tale. The main character looks like a regular white woman. She's not thin. She's just a regular white woman, just like that statue is just a regular black woman. We've had people like Tyra, Naomi, Beyonce, Jada Pinkett Smith, Gabrielle Union, etc. Like, to act like we've never had great representation is crazy. And it's crazy that white supremacists are saying, like, this is hideous. And black people, black women, black influencers are agreeing with white supremacists. Do we not see what's going on here? Y'all are really making videos saying, agreeing with these people when we come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. Do I feel the statue's pointless? Yeah, I don't really get the point, but also, it should not be the end of the world. We should not have influencers saying, like, this is the absolute worst representation of us, when there are also little black girls who look like that. I think we should just be a little careful with how we talk about things, because we can say that the statue's pointless and maybe we should, whatever, but...
Hey, it's me, the statue, in the middle of Times Square. Although I do really appreciate y'all putting me in the middle of Times Square, y'all could have did me, a better look. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is my go to the grocery store look. You know what I'm saying? This is my wake up and throw something on so I can go grab the mail look. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is my, oh shit, you gotta run to the store and grab some toothpaste because you forgot it look. This is not the look that I wanted y'all to do. More like this, like, cutesy, belly shirts, because they only for bitches with belly. Maybe a side part, you know what I'm saying? Maybe a side part. Or something more business casual, yeah, maybe bun, updo, that would be cute. I'm gonna need y'all to like do a little switcheroo.
I don't understand what's the problem. Y'all talking about her? She look like your mother. She look like your mother, your aunties, your cousins, your nieces. Any black woman in your family, she look like me. I am very happy that she's there. She's 12 feet tall. She's very intimidating. When you walk by her, you just gotta respect her. You don't laugh at her. And the only person that should really be mad is a black woman. And we're not mad. They see us. Every single day when they go to work. They see us. She's us. And she's black. And she's tired. We are tired. You didn't think we was tired? That's art. If you cannot understand how artistic and creative that statue is, kick rocks. That's art. Black women are art. Whether she had an afro puff or a dress on with a push-up bra, she's still gonna be there. They chose us before they put a 12-foot man. That's good. They would have never did that. New York is really lit. I love my city. We used to have colonizers and slave owners at statues on 14th Street, Union Square, and 42nd Street. They had George Washington, Abraham Lincoln. We yanked them bitches down. Now there's George Floyd and that black lady. Love it. Anytime somebody picks their teeth to say something disrespectful about a black woman, is your statue there? I don't see a statue that looks like you there. I'm cool with that statue. That's power. A lot of people love us. A lot of people love us. We fit the beauty standard. Companies love us. We make things shake. We make things sell. So yeah, put the statue up. Put some more. I don't give a damn if that lady was missing a leg, if she was in a wheelchair. She's me. I'm black, and I'm proud. Imagine the women walking past that 12-foot statue in Times Square, looking at it and saying, wow, she looks like me. And then going on the internet and hearing everybody call her frumpy, ugly, why they always gotta depict us this way. Why is this a representation for black women? She looks like a black woman. She looks like a fully black woman. She's not skinny, thank fucking God. She doesn't have a lace front on. She's wearing braid. This is a regular black woman. And y'all are upset that she don't look like one of these influencers on here, or she doesn't look like a model. To me, she looks like a model. Anybody could be a model. But to y'all, she needs to be more, which I feel like is the reason why they made the statue. Because she don't need to be more than what she already is. She looked like your mom, your auntie, your cousin, the girls you went to school with, the people you went to college with. It's all these people who don't like the way they look as a black woman, who change themselves, who don't like actual black women.
All right, so y'all see what they had to say. Thank you for coming to listen to me run my mouth. You think the statue is monstrous, ugly, or do you think that he captured, for what his intention was, a good depiction? Let me know down in the comments what you think. And make sure you share, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be notified the next time I come to run my mouth.